Oh, I guess it helps to set up the camera. Hang on, guys. The cable is trapped. Come on. Come on. Give me the dang cable. What are you stuck on now? Here we go. Let's put it over here where it can look at me. Yeah, I know it hasn't, I haven't got much light, and most of it's behind me. But I just listened to that song, Rich Men North of Richmond. Here. Is that better? Oh. I can't get rid of glare. Oh well. Remember, dang, I forgot his name again. Anyway, that song, Rich Men North of Richmond, about Oliver Anthony. Sometimes Google is rather useful. See, he did a new YouTube video, I guess today. No, it was a few days ago, August 8th. An anniversary of his sudden and wonderful success with that song about how the elites in DC screw us over. And boy, are they doing it now. Let's see. We have a threat of nuclear war. We have all kinds of violence all over the world. A possible pandemic from either monkeypox or bird flu. And the economy is doing great for somebody. I don't know, the stock market had a severe dip. But it's recovering. So I guess Wall Street's doing okay. But for those of us who have to buy groceries and put gas in the car, of course, I don't even have a car. There's no point. In California, I could not possibly afford the annual fee for the little sticker you put on your license plate. In some cases, it costs as much as I used to pay for a car. And that's every year. Let's see, let's turn off the flashlight. I've got to do something about that glare. Hang on, I have a plan. No, that won't work. This will. I don't want to turn off the light. I'll be totally in the dark. But let's try to shade it more. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. As long as I don't set the kitchen towel on fire. We'll see what happens. Well, anyway, good evening from beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire, where we've had a heat wave of historic proportions. We usually, sorry, there, here, we usually get just a few days where the high temperature is in the 80s Fahrenheit. Let's see. Oh, come on. 80 F2C. I never remember what it is Celsius. 26, 27 degrees Celsius. Those days are usually rare, but we've had days in the 90s. Oh, horrid, horrible heat that we are not used to in these mountains. And then, I don't know, I look at current events, I should probably ignore them, but they can't be ignored. Someone shot at a presidential candidate. I'm sure that there are attempts that we never hear about because they're stopped before they can start. But I'm really upset about people. Well, hi, Angus. Good evening. Welcome in. I'm really upset that there seem to be more and more people who think they can solve the problems of the world by shooting somebody. I don't think you can stop MAGA. Even if you stop Trump, you won't stop the people who support him. He's a symbol. He's a leader, but the movement is bigger than any one man. Even Donald Trump, with his billions of dollars and sorry, it's either cat hair or my hair everywhere tonight. Yeah, many people are angry, frustrated, and impatient for good reason. But yeah, it's really dangerous when you get to a point where you want to give up on a civil society. Good point. Angus sees Trump as a symptom. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about him. I'm really not. But look at the alternative. Um, both major parties, Democrat and Republican, have had their elites choose the candidate every 4 years. Don't kid yourself that your voting in the primary matters. Any candidate in the primary where the party chooses its nominee, well, any candidate that doesn't have the support, the backing of the party leaders who sit in the background and don't even hold political office or try to get votes, those people, if they don't choose you, you get squat. You don't get any support from your party. Look at RFK, Robert Francis Kennedy Jr. He had to leave the Democrat Party because there was no way to even run for the nomination. And he's a freaking Kennedy. Oh well, his own family is against him running. The Kennedys at one time were forming a political dynasty. Is Ted Kennedy still alive? I don't think so. Let's see. Light up my keyboard. Ted Kennedy. Oh, he died in 2009. He was a senator for ages and ages. We have a senator named John Kennedy, but he's not related. He just happens to have the same name. And, the Democrats chose the Clintons, Obama, Hillary, and the Bush. Wait a minute. Biden. The Republicans chose all of the Bushes and Romney and so and Donald Trump kind of broke in, became so popular because he was so different that the party leaders couldn't shove another Bush down our throats. We've had George Bush Daddy and George Bush the son, and they wanted to push in George's brother Jeb Bush. Didn't work. Because people were fed up. Oh, Angus's family were involved in the Democrat Party when he was a teen and a young voter. My family were, when I was like 9 years old, 10 years old, they were backing Goldwater. And when he lost, they quit politics entirely. Didn't even bother to vote. Now, there are plenty of people who will vote Republican no matter what, and others who will vote Democrat no matter what. I find that to be foolish. Do you know that Donald Trump was a lifelong Democrat, but he realized that he would never get the nomination as a Democrat, so he switched to Republican. Broke down all the doors, made the right friends, and gave the right message to the voters. Well, if we're going to have Wall Street favorites, we might as well have an honest one. Trump doesn't need to do insider trading with information that, these senators and congressmen get. He's a wealthy man. Oh, hi, Freeman. Welcome in. The Bushes are Texas oil men. So was LBJ. And I can't believe how some Democrats today sing the praises of Lyndon Baines Johnson, who defeated Goldwater in the election in '64. And within a couple years, Democrats and Republicans were marching together in the streets shouting a protest against the Vietnam War, saying, "Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today?" And there's all kinds of stories about his disgusting behavior and how he denigrated and disrespected the people around him. I can't tell what you said, Freeman. Dlinont? Oh, okay, I got it. Oh, he didn't just urinate in front of reporters. He sat on the pot and pooped. He also abused his dogs. Picked them up by their ears. I forget what kind of dogs. Maybe they were beagles. And he claimed they liked it. Oh, yeah, Nixon got too close to something and they Watergated him. But I do blame Nixon for falling for the trap. He should have gone public and told everything he knew about that break-in at the Democrat headquarters instead of trying to hide it. You know, I missed my chance to vote in '72. I had just turned 18 and they had just changed the law so I could have voted, but I didn't get registered in time. But in '76, I voted Democrat for Jimmy Carter because his opponent was the Republican Gerald Ford, who oversaw the disastrous pullout from Vietnam. And then I voted for Carter again in spite of the Iran hostage failure to rescue them, because Ronald Reagan did such a poor job as governor of California. He began the destruction of our state hospital system, which is responsible for, at the time, a huge increase in homeless people who used to be able to go to the state hospital for free medical care, counseling, medication, whatever they needed, and were not necessarily locked in there either. Many of them could come and go as they pleased. And, but the second time around, I voted for Reagan. Who was his opponent? Walter Mondale. I don't remember why I was against Mondale, but I had my reasons. So I didn't register Republican, but I voted for Reagan. And then, let's see, I'm bad at names. His, uh, George Bush, George H.W. Bush. 1988? Ah, here we go. His opponent was Michael Dukakis, the Massachusetts governor. Okay. Wait a minute. Dan Quayle was Bush's VP? Oh, God. Well, I voted against George H.W. Bush because he's a CIA man. He was the director of the CIA. I didn't know much about Dukakis, but I knew a lot about George Bush Daddy. So you see, I don't really vote the party, I vote the candidate. And as long as the elites in the party are choosing the candidates, we're screwed, no matter who gets into office. Oh, don't be ashamed of voting for Carter. Look at his opponents, they were worse. Freeman forced his ex-mother to vote for Jimmy Carter. He was better than the alternative. Yeah, Reagan fixed the economy, but he destroyed thousands upon thousands of jobs in the process. So, the fat cats on Wall Street were doing great. Ooh, gotta put my light in the light. It works on a solar panel. I have to get my other keyboard light. I hope it has battery. Oh, well, this one can be plugged in. Anyway, I thought I'd come online after listening to Oliver Anthony singing Rich Men North of Richmond. There we go. I can't shake the feeling that something major is about to happen, and I suspect that it's something bad. No, Freeman, I had not met Phil yet when his house was broken into in 71. I met him in 72. Oh, Lyndon LaRouche backed Reagan? I didn't know that, Angus. Let's see. Hi, Ditch. Welcome in. Hi, Jason. Welcome in. Jason, I hope all that driving puts food on the table for you. When I was a young mother with a young son and still in college, I desperately needed to rent an apartment. And I knew it was in a slum, but it wasn't too bad. You know, it wasn't crime ridden. And they said they would not rent to me unless I had a job. Being a student and having child support for my son wasn't enough. Well, Phil didn't have a lot of money, so the child support wasn't much. But, you know, I had student aid, and I forget what all I was doing. But anyway, so I went out and got a job at Puffin Taco. They served hot dogs and hamburgers and tacos. Just so I could rent an apartment. It was a pretty good job, but then Puffin Taco went bankrupt. Taco Bell bought them, and we were all jobless again. But I didn't tell the apartment manager, so I got to stay. Oh, Angus, I love the hamburgers at Puffin Taco. The hamburger patty, the meat was deep fried in hot oil, and it was so good. And it was actual, real good beef. The tacos were made with this meat that came in a package, and we had to switch to a different brand because the one we'd been buying had too much sawdust in it. There was actually a legal limit to how much sawdust you could put in the taco meat. But the hamburgers were really good. Oh, and cherry Slurpees. Well, we called them slushes there. 7-Eleven calls them Slurpees. Mm. Oh, Noggles. Phil and I loved Noggles. Tacos and hamburgers. Oh, it was part of Del Taco? Wow. Oh man, Ditch, yeah. They wouldn't rent you an apartment because you had passive income, not active income. That's stupid. I'm still waiting for a what you call it, icon. I think I showed you guys my apron. Maybe not. Let me get it. All right, where did I put it? See, it gets dark at night and I need a new lamp. So I can't find it because I can't see. It's not in this mess, but it should be. Okay, I've gone and put it somewhere. Ah, there, here we go. Gotta go the other way. It's lit up from the computer monitor. Ugh, it's an apron. Goes down to my knees, and the thing comes around and ties. Anyway, that's it. Now, okay. Well, someday, Ditch, I'll have a logo. That's the word. The apartment, I think it was 77. I don't know. I was still in junior college and I graduated from there in 79 and gave up the apartment. Went to visit family up in Northern California. And when I came back, Phil helped me rent with the deposits to rent a new place. Yes, Freeman, the apartment. Probably 77. Maybe 78. Maybe I only stayed there for 1 year. It was funny. Odd. Some boat people from Vietnam moved in. Refugees. And they had nothing. So the apartment manager was asking all the tenants, do you have any furniture you could give to these people? They don't even have a bed for their child. And it just happened that I did have an extra twin-sized bed because, my family had given me a hide-a-bed. It's a sofa, a couch, but it opens up into a bed. And then I noticed some new tenants in the apartment next door had small children, and the children were always fussing and fighting. And I packed up some of my son's old toys that he did not play with anymore. and gave them to the mother. And she said, oh, it was so wonderful. For the first time, her two small children just sat down and played with the toys. She was so poor, so broke, she couldn't buy the children happy. Yeah, well, it was a little dumpy apartment in Fullerton. Across the street from us was a strip a shopping center, not really a mall. And the only store I remember there was the liquor store that fronted right out on the street, because all the children bought their candy bars at that liquor store. Vietnam, Freeman. They were still escaping. You know, dang. Okay. U.S. left. Oops. Vietnam when? When did the U.S. have been? Oh, it was 73. Really? But we didn't finish the pullout in 73. Yeah. It was 75 when Saigon fell. Yeah, 75, when Gerald Ford was president. In April 75, Gerald Ford announced the end of the Vietnam War. Okay. Oh, come on. Here. This thing's too awkward to light up the keyboard, but the solar flashlight is too dim. It needs a charge. Yeah. Well, in which country was it? I think it was Cambodia, which is actually Kampuchea. But once again, the British never pronounced a country the way the people who live there pronounce it. Um, when oh, my brain's fried. Oh well, the dictator took over and killed anyone who knew how to read. And he even had, if you had eyeglasses, the soldiers would kill you because you probably knew how to read if you wore eyeglasses. Yes, right, Angus. Burma is Myanmar. Well, Sarah who sent me a gift package, and I still have to write her a thank you note. I haven't done it yet. And she sent me note cards with envelopes. Anyway, yes, Angus, Khmer Rouge. But was that Pol Pot? I think it was. Thank you, Angus. Yes, Pol Pot. Anyway, they wanted to get rid of all the intellectuals, especially school teachers. Horrible. Now, when you get out of line, they just cancel your social media. It's like a Philip K. Dick novel. If you aren't in the computer, you don't exist. No, Freeman, I'm not going to watch The Killing Fields. No thanks. Too painful. That's a good idea, Angus. Many internets. Okay, I think it's a cat who lives here. Yeah. I think colleges and especially universities have become nothing but propaganda purveyors. They don't really teach you anything anymore. No, Freeman, the chocolates were not filled with liquor. Besides, they were mostly buying sweet tarts and stuff like that. Well, there's this movie called Jacob's Ladder. It's about a man who comes home from the war and is having all kinds of weird hallucinations. And if you pay attention to the end, to the closing credits after the movie's over, it says that it's based on a true story of the military experimenting by giving soldiers hallucinogenic drugs. My porch light is on. That's good. Oh, they certainly are terrifying, Angus. I don't mind terrifying movies, but I don't want to see gore. No blood and guts. No, I don't know. Certain kinds of suffering I just can't watch. Yeah, I know, Ditch. I'm trying hard not to give away Jacob's Ladder because I want people to watch it. Jacob's Ladder was about a soldier who came home from the war still suffering because of what happened while he was under the influence of hallucinogenic drugs that the military gave to the troops. Well, of course it's embellished and exaggerated. It's a movie. But that doesn't mean that they didn't experiment on soldiers. They do it all the time with all their stinking vaccinations. Let's get Freeman a banana. Ah. Oh, wow. Ah. I'm kind of tired. Oh, well, no wonder. It's after 10 o'clock at night. I just wanted to pop in for a short time. But here's the main core of my usual chat room. Hi, Tora. Tora, you want to say hi to your adoring fans? Let's see if they can see you. Not too well. Let's see. Honest, that's Tora. She isn't a black kitty. Let me see if I have that flashlight. Hang on. There, here. I don't want to blind her, but where are you? Yeah, that's Tora. Yeah, she's a pretty kitty. Yes, indeed she is. Yeah. Okay, I'll get you some treats. Uh, where are they? Ah. Smoky Sue, you're a pest and a bully. I don't like you. Well, where are you? You can have some treats. Smoky, there she is. Here. Ah, God. Oh, here's Tutu. I have an open cat door, kind of Mickey Mouse, jerry rigged with cardboard boxes because it's easier than trying to persuade a cat to come inside when she doesn't want to. Oh, a while back, speaking of cats and hunting, it was the middle of the day. Sweetie, my feral Sweetie, brought in a kitten. She was not harming it. She must have thought I could help it, but the poor thing was already dead and stiff. Rigor mortis had set in. There was nothing I could do but dispose of it. Okay, Tora. Oh boy. So anyway, this all started when I watched a video that Oliver Anthony did. You know, the Richmond, north of Richmond guy. And he was talking about how he just wanted to walk away from the whole world. And he went on for some time before he said, but I have an obligation to all of you. You know, the people who supported him and his music, and now he's a wealthy man, and he could afford to just say goodbye to the outside world. But he feels an obligation, so he's planning to buy up old farms that have been abandoned or shut down. He's actually bought a couple, and he wants to turn them into something like a rehab center to restore the farmland and raise some livestock, but also help people who, you know, need some help. Maybe they're just having a hard time, or maybe they're abusing substances, you know. And he's planning to do some concerts that have nothing to do with Ticketmaster. Well, if I weren't so physically challenged, that's what they call it now, I'd love to be on a farm. But I can barely manage where I am, and I do get help. I always wanted to live on a ranch or a farm, one or the other. It never happened. Oh well. Anyway, it's late at night. And I gotta get some sleep. It's in Ditch's future. This is pretty good here. It's rural, a rural mountain community. And ordinarily I can grow crops. I can at least grow some tomatoes. But stuff happened this year and I didn't get things planted. And last year the critters and the bugs ate everything except the tomatoes. They don't like tomatoes. Oh, and I do have blackberries. Lots and lots of blackberries. No, I don't need a landscaping crew. I need some carpenters to fix my shed. It needs a new door. And it needs all the dirt swept out from it not having a door. Oh, Whataburger. I've never eaten there. Move, Tora. Quit. She's trying to swipe the treats because I won't give her any more. Yeah, I gotta get going too. I gotta open a can for the kitties. Ugh. Yeah, I believe you, Jason. An Army report on university studies of that stuff. Oh, Maeve Russell covered all kinds of stuff. She was amazing, and I discovered her very late in her life. Tora, I'm gonna open a can, okay? Move over. I can't get the canned food with you in the way. God. If you want your canned food, you have to let me get the can. Silly girl. Move over. Well, what, you know where your dishes are. Your food's in your dish, and you're letting the other cats have it all. Yeah, I'm gonna log out now, guys. So, good night and sleep tight. Let's see if I can type that. I think good night is one word, but I already put a space in. See ya.